So the next step, what do we have so far? We know that we need to act like a media company. We know what kind of content we need to be producing. Now we have to talk about producing the right content for the right time. What do we want to do at the top of the funnel? Well, at the top of the funnel, we want to build trust. We want to engage, right? Again, sales, the key to sales, which is what we're all after, is the transfer of trust. Well, at the top of the content, we can have content that is in line with the mission of your content program, but you can have a wide range of content, certainly best practices, et cetera. In the middle, we have a different set of objectives. We want to nurture, keep them around, keep them coming back. We want to accelerate. And of course, as we said earlier, we want to overcome objections, answer questions. Here, you can have content that's more product aligned. Product aligned doesn't necessarily mean it's about the product. It means it's closer to the product. And we'll have an example in a minute. Now, lifecycle is interesting, because what are you trying to do? You're trying to do two things. You're trying to retain, in which case you're using similar strategies and similar content that you're using for the top of the funnel. And you're trying to upsell, which at this point, what you're doing is you're nurturing and accelerating and overcoming objections, but just for a different product, for the product that you're trying to upsell. See some heads nodding? That's good. Not everybody's sleeping after lunch. So let's use some examples here, okay? And I have 4 different verticals. We've done work with the top 3. We haven't done work with travel and hospitality, so if you're in travel and hospitality, we have some really cool ideas. Love to speak with you. I can't go through all 4 of these because we don't have enough time. But if you think about it, your content mission in banking, for example, might be going from cash flow to cash flourish, right? Makes sense. You can see the ones for the other verticals here. So what would be good content for the top of the funnel? Well, here's one example. 3 tips to negotiating better payment terms. Makes sense, right? That's something that business owners want to know, need to know, especially these days. And by the way, just a side note, if you have small business vendors, don't pay them in 60 days. Pay them in 30. They talk to other businesses, by the way. That's just a side note. So anyway, good example of top of the funnel content. In the telecom business, where we've done a lot of work, this is something that I'm sure that many telecom companies have done because it's related to bandwidth. Have you created an app for your biz? Okay, kind of makes sense. You're taking customer challenges and you're producing content that's aligned with your company mission and your content mission. Just remember those. They're not necessarily about the product. Middle and the bottom of the funnel. Well, what are we trying to do here? Again, we're trying to accelerate, we're trying to nurture, right? So what are some examples here? Let's go back to banking. The basics of bank account controls. Why is this middle of the funnel content? Well, bank account control is actually a feature or benefit of a banking checking account, right? It's a basic benefit. But yet, it's something that business owners want to know, particularly when your business gets to a certain point and you have somebody setting up the bills, but you still are approving them. So this is a good example of content that's more product aligned, but yet not necessarily about the product. By the way, just going back for a second, when somebody's reading that type of content, let's say the basics of bank account controls, maybe they've read three tips to negotiate better payment terms, what are they heading towards, potentially? They're heading towards the purchase. If you're doing some scoring, this is going to be worth a few more points than the content in that second column, in the top of the funnel content.